The most unforeseen things happen in life when you least expect them, like my life. My own life is a mystery to me. So I had been a movie star and working in the glamour business where I was modeling and I was one of India's first international supermodels. And somehow for me, the really good was not good enough anymore. I was astounded to know that we had an international yoga university that actually taught yoga and did courses in yoga. I went there certified in the history of yoga and how life began on earth. I certified as a yoga teacher, where we learned Patanjali yoga, and also learned tantra and hatha yoga and karma yoga. And then I returned to the city for a brief break, and little did I know what awaited me here.
I think it was September, October 1999, if I may recall correctly, when I was working at the Breach Candy Hospital. I was looking after the intensive care units there, and in the middle of the night, someday, 2 or 2:30, I had a call from the casualty that someone has been badly battered and needed to be transferred in the surgical ICU. Instantly, I looked at her and I recognized this is the Anu Agrawal, who was an actress once upon a time.
I'm told of a dramatic car crash happened with me behind the wheel.
We were dealing with a ruptured bladder, and there was urine and blood spilled in her abdomen, which required an emergency surgery. And she had a lot of other orthopedic injuries, multiple rib fractures, clavicular fracture.
5 fractures just from skull down to the jaw, including a jaw fracture, an ear fracture of the labyrinth. I had a collarbone multiple fracture, a rib cage. That was the only hairline fracture, luckily, otherwise I would have died out of not breathing.
It was all touch and go. We don't know if she was going to come around. Everything was done for her, so it was basically supportive treatment that we were giving her and hoping things will settle after the surgical intervention was done.
So I'm told that I was in a comatose state for 29 days, where the doctors said my survival was a 50-50 chance, and I lived more out of the body than I did in it. I woke up as a child in an adult body.
Everything was as per plan, except that she had completely lost out on what was the past. She was just not able to communicate properly. She was not able to recognize people. It was like a new person, someone who just suddenly bounces out of the surrounding, it's like a period called amnesia.
I lived without a personality. I was completely depersonalized. And not only just that, I did not even have a gender orientation.
And of course, the neurologist would be seeing her, and there was nothing more anyone could do medically except give her some brain tonics and some medication.
Forgiveness heals the mind. Once there's healing in the mind, it's percolated into the body, and the body starts to heal. A yoga teacher became her own mentor. So my healing started with me. I'm a do-it-yourself DIY case. Every day watching it and watching my body, being aware of it, watching it like a witness, and administering a holistic yoga, which is basically how you sleep, when you wake up, the thoughts that you have, what you do in the day, the times that you eat at, all the do's and the don'ts of the yogic living lifestyle that I carried onto it. So my first research is with me. And it worked. A neurological recovery started, cognitive function that was lost started to regain itself, and the memory that was totally lost suddenly started to spring up.
And now we have a different Anu from what we had in 1999. And it's all a lot of effort by a lot of people, God's blessings and her own karma and her own healing power.
When you heal, or when you really realize that all that you need to do and all that you are left to do and all that you want to do is heal others, or have others realize and help others. So that was the only mission that I had. And then I was in the city, and I happened to be taken to a class of slum kids, which was being done by an NGO in Mumbai. And I saw these slum kids that looked so down and out and depressed. I know that I have been through a severe trauma, but aren't they going through a trauma being in the low income groups, and where even basic sanitation and hygiene are a struggle, even 2 meals a day are. And I said to myself, what can I do for them? And I just wanted to bring joy to them. So I therefore thought of a non-profit, which is actually working with the mental tools to develop forgiveness, compassion, empathy. And once these are developed, there is a natural acceptance that occurs. The results were astounding. Within a month of my working with the kids, they started to interact with each other. They started to interact with me, which they weren't doing the first day, or interacting with any of the other teachers.
I recall one very nice thing. She said, "You come to my house for yoga nidra." I said, "What is yoga nidra?" She said, "It's a sleeping yoga." I said, "Wow, I love that." So I took my daughter who was growing up, and we both went to her house along with some friends of ours, and she put us to sleep, and it was quite a pleasurable experience.
And suddenly the confidence was coming up, which I think is a very important part, and helps them then to grow into more aware and alert individuals, and therefore a better world.
What I want Anu to really do in her life is make people believe in themselves, make people have a very strongly positive feeling that even if you've lost everything, even if you have nothing, you can still get up, stand tall, and live well, and be happy.
This program is not just limited to children from the slums. It's something that can work for all adolescent kids globally. Like they say, heal the children, you heal the world, and you will see a better future. That's what I, and I'm sure all of you would like to see as well.